Sophia Carter is a young woman with big dreams, much like millions of others who have journeyed to America with hopes of a better life. Born and raised in a small neighborhood in Ohio, Sophia watched her parents quietly toil every day to provide for a family of 4 siblings. In their modest home, where her father's hands could fix anything from a broken bike to faulty lights, Sophia learned the value of hard work. To her father embodied patience, and her mother, unconditional love. From a young age, Sophia resolved to change her life. Her hopeful eyes burned brightly, even as she spent late nights teaching herself after regular school hours. She earned a partial scholarship to study electrical engineering at a public university. Balancing her studies and part-time work to build her skills and enhance her resume, Sophia eventually received an offer from Tesla, one of the world's most prestigious companies in electric vehicles and technology. The first days at the Fremont factory felt like a dream come true. She quickly adapted to the processes, learned from her colleagues, and gradually became one of the most praised employees. The Tesla cars built at Fremont were not only elegant but also of the highest quality, and Sophia knew she played an integral part in that. Long days on the assembly line, filled with sweat and fatigue, couldn't dim her determination to contribute to a sustainable energy future. However, Sophia's personal life became an increasing burden. When her roommate unexpectedly moved out, she was forced to face a sudden doubling of her rent. Despite taking on extra shifts and cutting costs to the bone, she couldn't make ends meet. When her lease ended, Sophia had to make an unthinkable decision, living in her old car. With the composure of someone who saw this as only a temporary step, Sophia signed up for a gym membership to ensure she could shower and maintain her appearance. Every morning she woke early, parked in a quiet corner of a Walmart lot, tidied herself up, and started her day at Tesla with a radiant smile that had become her signature. Despite the unglamorous reality, Sophia believed this was just one leg of her journey. Work at Tesla was demanding. The assembly line required a suffocating level of precision, where every movement had to meet exacting standards. Yet, Sophia pushed forward with unwavering dedication. Every morning she would use the gym to shower, meticulously apply her makeup, and occasionally add a light fragrance for a boost of confidence. When Sophia walked into Tesla, her bright smile had become an inseparable part of her image. Each morning she appeared polished, with neatly styled hair, a freshly pressed uniform, and a subtle, pleasant scent. But beneath this perfect exterior, Sophia carried a heavy secret she couldn't share with anyone. When co-workers casually mentioned finding new places to live or decorating their homes, Sophia would simply offer a faint smile and her well-rehearsed reply, "I'm looking for somewhere closer to work." She couldn't reveal the truth, that her old Toyota Corolla was her only refuge. The truth that at night, she spread a thin blanket across the back seat, crushing dreams that had once seemed so bright. The truth that every morning, she meticulously prepared herself so no one would notice the life of struggle she was leading. Sophia became adept at navigating conversations. She knew that even a minor slip could lead to rumors among her colleagues. Her concise answers became a fortress, shielding her secret about being homeless. When co-workers chatted about redecorating their homes, Sophia tried to remain natural. Deep inside, she often asked herself a question that had no clear answer. When will I finally have a place I can call home? Evenings weren't a time of rest for Sophia, but moments when she faced her greatest burdens. As the lights at Tesla dimmed, she drove back to the Walmart parking lot, her makeshift home for the night. Each evening she chose the most inconspicuous corner, carefully parked to avoid attention, and settled into the cramped cabin for another sleepless night. Sophia would pore over housing assistance documents she had gathered throughout the day. Waiting lists, application forms, and dry regulations all promised a way out of this transient life. She scrutinized every line, taking notes on anything that might help. Yet, when faced with complicated requirements, all she could do was sigh and look for another way to cope. The days Sophia spent at the library were her only refuge in a life filled with challenges. There, she immersed herself in the quiet atmosphere, setting aside the chaos of her reality to dive into reading and working on her projects. She pored over support programs, hoping to uncover even the smallest lead to alleviate her housing struggles. When the library closed, it marked her return to her familiar car, where she confronted a harsh reality that continually crushed her spirit. At night, she spread a thin blanket across the back seat, curling up tightly under its meager warmth. But even in sleep, fears about the future haunted her. Her hand unconsciously clutched a tattered notebook, as if holding on to the faint glimmer of hope it represented amid her turbulent life. One night, after an exhausting day, Sophia felt utterly drained. She needed rest, and stopped her car in the Tesla parking lot, a place she had never planned to spend the night. Initially, she intended only to rest briefly before driving to the safety of the Walmart lot, her usual overnight spot. But fatigue quickly overwhelmed her. Reclining in the cramped driver's seat, she closed her eyes and unintentionally fell into a deep sleep. Her daily routine, filled with fast-paced tasks, unerring precision and high demands, had pushed her to her limits. That day, she simply didn't have the energy to follow through on her plan. When she awoke, dawn was breaking. The once empty parking lot was now filled with cars as Tesla employees arrived early for their shifts. Panic set in immediately. Sophia frantically looked around, hastily gathered her scattered documents, and started the car. Every sound of the engine, every distant glance from an onlooker felt like a reminder of her mistake. Sophia knew her error was more than just an embarrassment. It was a risk to her reputation at Tesla, and could expose the secret of her homelessness, a secret she had carefully guarded. In that moment, she feared that all her efforts to maintain her image had been in vain. What she didn't realize was that someone had seen everything. Elon Musk, who had come to the Tesla factory early that morning to check on delivery progress, happened to pass through the parking lot. His eyes caught sight of the old Toyota parked awkwardly, with Sophia still asleep in the driver's seat. At first, Elon thought it might be an employee working late or dealing with an emergency. But as he looked closer, the familiar face made him pause. It was Sophia, the radiant, hard-working employee known for her exemplary performance. He said nothing and acted as if he hadn't noticed, but questions began to form in his mind. Elam suspected there was a story worth uncovering behind this moment, unsure even if Rachel was alive or dead. It was late afternoon, and the Walmart parking lot was bustling with activity. Sophia maintained her composed demeanor as she walked briskly to the checkout counter, her shopping basket filled with carefully budgeted essentials. In her haste, a coin slipped from her pocket, clinking loudly on the floor. Sophia knelt down, scrambling to pick up the scattered coins, while the crowd moved around her indifferently. Suddenly, another hand reached down, picking up a lone coin lying on the floor. "You dropped this," a deep, calm, and familiar voice said, startling Sophia as she looked up. Standing before her was Elon Musk, the visionary leader of Tesla, gazing at her with a mix of seriousness and empathy. "Mr. Musk!" Sophia's voice betrayed her shock and anxiety. She accepted the coin from his hand, her own trembling as she struggled to find the words to begin this unexpected conversation. Elon smiled gently. "I happened to see you the other day in the Tesla parking lot. Just curious, are you doing okay?" His tone was light, as if he didn't want to impose, yet his words carried a subtle weight. "Yes, I'm fine," Sophia replied quickly, but Elon's discerning eyes seemed to see past her words. He didn't press further, but gave her a look that conveyed understanding of more than she admitted. He exchanged a few words with Gentry before he moved to the far end of the table, where he set a bowl of soup. Sophia," Elon said softly, his voice bridging the gap between them. "You're an incredibly promising employee. I hope that whatever happened hasn't caused you any trouble." Elon smiled. His words weren't accusatory or prying, but they carried an unspoken assurance. Elon Musk had seen something, and he seemed intent on understanding it fully. Elon Musk was not the type to witness a situation, let it stir his thoughts, and then forget about it. The next day, Sophia received an unexpected message. She was invited to Elon Musk's office. Her heart pounded as she nervously stepped into the elevator, unsure of what awaited her. She worried. What did Elon know? What was going to happen? When she entered Elon's spacious and bright office, she was met with his calm smile and thoughtful gaze. "Sophia," he began, motioning her to sit, "I know you're facing some challenges." Elon smiled faintly, his tone measured and approachable. "I happened to see you in the Tesla parking lot the other morning," he continued, his voice steady but tinged with concern. "You're an incredibly talented employee, but I couldn't help wondering, what's going on?" Sophia felt trapped under his penetrating, unyielding gaze. She wanted to deny it, to offer a rehearsed excuse, but the words swirling in her mind suddenly faltered. I don't have a home," she admitted, her voice trembling. "I've been trying to save, but the expenses have become too much." Her face turned crimson as she fumbled for an explanation, her mind racing with the potential consequences of sharing this truth. Before she could spiral further, Elon raised a hand to stop her. "I didn't call you here to reprimand you or make you feel uneasy," he said gently. "In fact, I wanted to thank you for your contributions to Tesla." With that, he slid an envelope across his desk toward Sophia. Her hands trembled as she opened it. Inside was a check for an amount substantial enough to cover her rent for an entire year. Sophia hesitated, looking up at Elon with a mix of emotions: shame, worry, and overwhelming gratitude. "I can't accept this," she murmured, her voice barely audible. "I just need more time to figure things out." Elon shook his head, his smile kind but resolute. "Everyone needs a little help now and then. This isn't charity, it's an investment. You've earned it." Sophia thought of the freezing nights in her car, the long days of grueling work, and the hours spent in the library searching for a way out. Everything had led to this moment. At the door of the prep, Sophia heard the sound of mounting footsteps close behind her. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice choked with emotion. "I won't let you down." Elon smiled warmly. "I know you won't, Sophia. Best of luck." As Sophia walked out of the office, the envelope clutched tightly in her hands, she knew this was a turning point in her life. A surge of gratitude and determination ignited in her heart, like a flame beginning to shine brighter, lighting the way to her future. As Sophia left the office, the envelope still clutched tightly in her hands, she felt as though a heavy burden in her life had been lifted. She took a deep breath, her eyes filled with determination and hope. This wasn't just an opportunity to change her own life, but also a source of inspiration for anyone facing challenges, reminding them that with effort, every door can be opened. Sophia's story is a testament to never giving up, and that with timely help, even the biggest dreams can come true. If her story has touched your heart, click subscribe to our channel today. We're striving to reach 1,000 subscribers, and your support is the greatest motivation for us to continue sharing meaningful and inspiring stories. Let's spread the message. No matter how tough life gets, always believe in yourself and look toward the future. Click subscribe and join us now.